and I'm excited to share with you some of my favorite websites and their features. First, let's talk about some disadvantages of using internet websites. First of all, you're going to need to have an internet and devices. If either of those aren't working really well, it can kind of interfere with what you're doing. Most of the time, you're going to need a login and a subscription, and sometimes there's even some fees that go along with those depending on the website. So plan so that you have enough time to do that, to get those logins. But also, you're going to need to plan for some learning curve. And this applies to all websites that you're going to do. There's not only a learning curve for teachers, but there's also a learning curve for students. So as you're introducing those sites to your students, you need to take that into consideration. There's tons of advantages. It's such a multifaceted, there's so much multifaceted uses. You can do anything from synchronous to asynchronous, remote, in-class, direct instruction, independent, print, digital. It can be teacher-driven and student-driven. All of those are really great advantages of using websites. Just a little note on how we're going to proceed from here. Each site has a specific function. Each of the sites I chose are ones that I've used in my classroom and also during remote teaching. So the first one is a classroom management site. Then we're going to look at an ELA specific site. Another site that's very similar, but it has all content in it. The last two one is a research designed site specifically for helping young students do research. And the last one is just some free instructional videos that are all on a website. So we're going to go to the first one, which is ClassDojo. ClassDojo, I was really reluctant to use, but I had so many people tell me it's so great. So I finally jumped in and tried it, and I was really impressed with what I could do. And over the years as I used it, it also began to add so many new cool options. Here's a quick video about
What
ClassDojo.
makes an amazing classroom? Is it having shiny new desks? Is it that fearless classroom pet in the corner? Or maybe it's something you can't see. Maybe it's about the classroom community you build with students, teachers, and parents. In a classroom where students all work together, persevere through challenges, and help each other out along the way. These moments should never go unnoticed. This year, you'll be using ClassDojo to celebrate those moments in class and share them home. You'll each start with your very own monster. And anytime you show an important skill, like working hard or being creative, your teacher can award you a point on ClassDojo. For those extra exciting moments, your teacher can take a photo or video. Best of all, your parents will get to see all the skills you're building and share in your unforgettable classroom moments. So let's get started. What skills do you want to recognize in your classroom?
So let's go back to ClassDojo and
What makes an amazing classroom?
Let's go back to ClassDojo and kind of look at how it's organized. As you can see, I chose over here, there's lots of different teacher resources. There's PDs, there's webinars that I've attended to help me learn how to utilize it. So there's a lot of supports there. And as we look at a classroom sample, you can see that there's the navigation bar across the top, and then there's some tools across here on the bottom. I think some of my favorite tools are this noise indicator. That one was fun to use in the classroom. I also liked that it would randomly select students so that they could choose, answer a question or have a choice. I love this piece in here where it has different videos and segments on different social emotional learning, resilience, growth mindsets, and some other different creative activities that you can participate with the students in. Additionally, on this page is where you're going to usually award students with some points. You can do it as a whole class or individually, and you can edit your skills and edit their point value. At the end of the week, I would set a goal as a class, and students could have privileges or opportunities to use those points. The next thing I really like is that it has a section where you can post an event, or you can record information you want for your class and your parents to hear. And then once you do that, it kind of works like Facebook. They can comment on it or they can like it. Parents have really appreciated this function, because then they can feel like they're kind of invited into our classroom as we add pictures. Another feature I really like for communicating with parents is the emails I can send individually or as a group. And then parents can, when they open it, they can choose to have it translated into the language of their choice. That was really helpful, since I had a lot of parents that spoke only Spanish. The other part that's really designed for the students is this portfolio. Each student has their own portfolio, and you can add an assignment on there. You can record an assignment. They can respond by using text, videos, photos, or drawings, or upload a worksheet that they would have created. And again, those are posted for all the students to see, but only after the teacher has approved it. So I think that was a quick review of what Class Dojo can do. One of the cons is that it really is designed for younger children. And it works best when you can keep it projected up. So you probably should have a TV or a projector, although you can just let students look at their page. Another challenge that there's to it is that parents actually have to sign in to get access to this. But it also is a benefit, because then you can control who's watching and seeing what's going on in your classroom a little bit there. Disadvantages is that the student profile looks different from the teacher, so you kind of need to acclimate yourself to both if you need to help your students learn through that. So that is Class Dojo. We'll move on to the next website, which is Newsela. Let me clean up some of the tabs up here. Whoops. Newsela is an ELA specific website. And it is really complex, so it takes some time to learn it. However, there is, again, a teacher center that provides resources for you as a different teaching communities. Like, for example, I'm a special ed teacher, so I could join a special ed community, learning different professional learning about how to teach different skills to students, and then support for the digital technical supports. I like that you can search up here through topics and content areas, articles, standards, text sets, and videos, or you can browse by ELA, science, social studies, things that are in the news, or things that are offered in Spanish. You can create folders and where you save your content. There's also an option to assign a student to a different article, and for a student to have their own binder as well. So those are all some really cool things. I think one of the disadvantages of this website, let me go back to the opening part here, is that it's not a disadvantage. It's why I like it, but it's also something you have to be a little careful about. It is, everything is related to what's in the news, hence the word News ELA or Newsela. And it will have all topics, so there might be some topics that are inappropriate for your community. As you can see, there's topics about LGBTQ. That's not something you probably want to share with a first grader, although it just depends on your environment. There's featured articles that are the newest for that day. There's the latest news articles with a range of topics. There's examples like videos from Ukraine that talk about Ukraine if you want to explore those. I really like these pro-con articles for helping to write opinion pieces or even opinion articles, so you can have that discussion about what that is. Primary resources, informational text fiction, all kinds of ELA resources that are available. This is, like I said, just an ELA content. It's not anything that has math in it as well. I'm trying to see if there's, I think I wanted to, oh, I even saw some multimedia resources. I also really like that each article gives you a Lexile level to bring it down to. Like there's the highest level and then it brings it down. They don't always bring it down to the lowest level, so that kind of ranges. There's a read aloud function on there, there's print functions on there, and there's also activities. Usually most of them have a writing prompt that the student can answer online, and a 4-question multiple choice comprehension quiz that you can use to help you with determining if they're understanding the content. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but Newsela is free, so it's a very powerful resource. So along the same lines as Newsela, the next website we're going to look at is education.com. This one has a fee if you want the premium version. The premium version allows you to assign student progress. So you can assign them activities to do. It will track their progress as they answer those games and activities online. And it's really a lot of their games are really quite interesting. Again, they're mostly based on primary levels. There's video games they can do to help them practice different skills. You can base it, I guess it looks like there's some up to 8th grade. There we go. I also like that this is organized by subjects. So there's math, reading, writing, typing, science, social studies, or you can search by Common Core Standard, grade specific and content specific. So that way, if you have a standard that you're trying to teach, but you don't really have an idea how to do that, you can do that. There's also, you can look through the entire website. There's printed worksheets. The problem with the printed ones are they are not something you can respond to digitally. There's also guided lessons and lesson plans, activities, online exercises, just a ton of resources that are available on this. Most of this is available for free at the basic subscription rate. I chose to pay the fee and I found it well worth my money for the annual fee to use it with my students. The next website that we're going to explore is PebbleGo. PebbleGo is unfortunately something that you have to subscribe, your school or district needs to subscribe to. But I love it because it is really a wonderful tool for research and teaching students how to research. One of the disadvantages, of course, is the cost, and that it has to be purchased. Because of the cost, I doubt that you want to spend $1,000 for your classroom alone. The particular one that my district bought was really geared to K through 3. However, they do have Pebble, the company that by Capstone Company, does have materials that are better for the older students as well. I guess up through maybe 6th grade. Some of the features that I really like is that it is really kind of where your students go in and work independently. So you can work, I would suggest working through it with them. One of the disadvantages is that you've just got to kind of click through to finally get to where you want to go. So you start out with a broader topic and then it narrows down. For example, if you were going to teach about animals and
invertebrates,
you can then go down to the invertebrates, and then you have to choose your invertebrate, and then finally you're there. Part of this I really, really like is that it has
jellyfish are invertebrates that live in the ocean.
Has a really nice voice to it, a natural sounding voice. It gives you definitions.
invertebrate,
I love the way that it's organized across the top. It tends to try to keep them consistent across topics. and that really sets you up for an opportunity to organize your research. Down here below, it gives you, again, on that research vein, it shows you how to cite your article. It gives you options to print out some different activities you can do, videos that are short and quick and that go along with it, and some other resources that can help you as you're looking at this topic.
Home.
Let's see if I can find. Nope, that's. Let me click back here. It can give you, if you don't know what you want to do and you just want to have it pick for you, it'll do that for you. And I'm trying to see. There are some times on some of these where there are games associated with what you can do. It has, you can purchase options for having it in Spanish, so it can go across that. It also has, it shows you how it's related to Common Core standards. On the more expensive versions, there's also lots of teacher resources and lesson plans to go. And we're almost done. The next one and final one is a website that is totally free, and it is based on literacy lessons. I found this when I was doing remote teaching, and I liked it because I could assign this into either my Canvas course or into my Google Classroom.
I'm a teacher just like you. I teach 6th grade science, and if you're anything like me, you've wasted your plan time trying to find...
All right, there we go.
Hey guys, it's Mrs. Longmire. Today's reading lesson is going to be how readers have different voices.
So they go ahead and go through teach the lesson, do, I do, we do, you do, and in the end, the teacher gives them an assignment to do.
When they drive around town,
after they've done the we do, you do, I do.
We read a few words, and then we thought about it.
And I also like it because on this link, they give you a ton of links that refer to the lesson. Also, if you choose not to use the video, they give you all of the resources you need to put together your own anchor chart with the different visuals that they've used in their lesson. I like this website because it goes K through 12, but it uses common language across all of these skills. And it's organized by inferencing skills and summary and retell skills, and it just builds on it across the curriculum. And then in addition to all of those cool videos, there's also videos that teach social emotional learning lessons as an extra bonus. A funny story is that the lesson, the instructor, whenever she would speak, it would set off one of my students. He just could not listen to her. So sometimes that was a con for me in my classroom. Also, they kind of talk a little fast, so I would have to pause and restate it in a simpler language and slow down a little bit for them. Another benefit to this is that Schmeikens has a website where she offers free and paid for webinars and workshops that you can attend to, and she covers other areas like annotating notes and writing papers. All were very helpful for me as I was trying to find different things to add to my toolkit. And finally, I will be uploading this to my website, to my my YouTube channel. So if you wanted to find those or find information about these websites, again, you can go ahead and look at that presentation, stop and look at the different websites yourself. I'm excited to be able to share this with you. I hope that you can explore some of these websites, and it'll be a nice addition for your classroom instruction.